I would like to introduce our speaker for today. This is Ana Maria Martirena. She's an enduring political activist in Argentina, and she's currently a professor of linguistics at the University of Buenos Aires. She is here today to have a conversation about the current state of affairs in Argentina, specifically the governing system in the city of Buenos Aires, also known as Las Comunas. So with that, here's Ana Maria Martirena.
Thank you very much. Being the Center for Latin American Studies, I assume you all speak a little Spanish, right? Is there anybody who doesn't speak Spanish? Good, good. Well, I'm a citizen. I'm here as a citizen of Argentina who in the past 10 to 12 years has been concerned with politics. I'm a member of a political party, and I'm very enthusiastic about politics in Argentina now, and very active in politics in the city of Buenos Aires. This morning I woke up with the idea of drawing a timeline showing the parties which took office during the past 50 years in Argentina, the military governments, to give a picture of Argentina and then later the city of Buenos Aires, which has had some changes in the past years. Okay, is anyone here a specialist in Argentina? Maybe. Oh, okay, maybe.
I'm from there.
But does that mean that you are yes, if you're here today, you're concerned with things in Argentina. And your field here is?
Estoy estudiando psicología.
Okay, well. I'm a linguist. I was a student here many years ago at Cornell and the University of Chicago. And there was a point when things got so exciting bad, no? That I had to do something in my country. Okay, does this year mean anything to anyone who knows about Argentina? Okay. This was when Perón was overthrown after several years of government. So this P stands for Peronist. Peronist government. No, sorry. Peronist government ends here. One Peronist government ends here. And a military government starts until 1958, when the other major political party in Argentina starts ruling. 1958, and this party is the Radical Party, radical government. 1966, again, military government starts. 1973, Peronist government. You will see a sequence of the same initials. This is military government. For the first time, in this line here, 1983, radical government. And here the Raúl Alfonsín, he won with a large majority of votes. 83. And here, I was not very sure today, but after that, there was a 10-year period of Peronist government. Okay, here the date is a little here the periods for the national government were, until this point, 6 years. Here there was a reform of the constitution, and it changed to 4 years. So the president here, which was Peronist, who was this? He was so popular. Carlos Menem. Okay, so he ruled for 10 years. Radical government. There was some turbulence here, and the radical president had to leave in Argentina, the president doesn't live in the same place as he works. He had to leave the presidential building on a helicopter. There was no military problem, but he had to leave, and then for some time, for the next constitutional president, I'm giving that date. Between 2000 and 2003, there was a temporary president, Presidente, who was not elected, but Congress agreed that he should take office. And then in 2003, there were elections, and Nestor Kirchner was elected. And here there are 4-year periods. Nestor Kirchner, 2003, 2007. Anyone? Cristina Kirchner. And the idea was to have Nestor Cristina, Nestor Cristina, Nestor Cristina. Okay? But Nestor Kirchner died here. And so she was elected again. Okay. So this is one sequence of radical, Peronist, and military governments. I was going to do the city here. Can you see down here? Can you see? Okay. So, Cristina Kirchner ruled until 2015. And I drew these 2 lines because something important happened. A party which had never been in national politics won the election and took office. This party okay, I will write Cambiemos. This is actually a coalition of three parties, which we in Argentina we like it very much to talk about center, right, left, right. Well, this is center. The three forces are center. Now, different color. This is the country, and this is the city. Okay, I'll start 2015. With the reform to the Constitution in 1994, you will see that in the slides later, they implemented a constitution for the city of Buenos Aires, and things changed radically. Up to that point, this word, Anita, mayor? No, okay, jefe de la ciudad. I was going to switch to Spanish. The jefe de la ciudad was appointed by the president until this point, when they reformed the Constitution. After this, which was 1994, the people from the city of Buenos Aires elected the jefe de la ciudad. And what party did the jefes de la ciudad come from at the beginning? It was a Peronist government. I'm up here. Okay, they came from the, can you see this very light green? This is PG, Peronist. A minute. Peronist, jefe de la ciudad. And this was 1996. And then my memory failed me. I don't know how many jefes de la ciudad there were after that, because some of them couldn't finish office. There was a problem with one, but they were Peronist until there was a radical jefe de la ciudad. So you see, up to 2000 and something, radicals and Peronists, with a majority of Peronists, of course, Peronist governments, were in office. Okay. Yes? 2007 meant a big change because somebody appeared who had not been active in politics before, had not been un miembro de any of the other parties, and he got the support of the people of Buenos Aires. Probably we were tired of Peronists in government, and we decided to support him. And this was Mauricio Macri. He was a businessman, And when he was chosen I hear you. And when he was elected Jefe de la Ciudad, he had been for many years, for a good number of years, the president of the most popular football team in Buenos Aires. He had been a very successful president, and he was the son of a very successful businessman in Argentina. So his background was he was an entrepreneur, he was not a politician. And we believed him, and the people who were with him. So his party was PRO. PRO wins the elections 2007, 2011 with Mauricio Macri. Mauricio Macri, 2015, runs for president. And in a rather close election, he is elected in the ballotage. Second round. I always voted for Macri on the second round. My heart was elsewhere. No? But, okay, so Macri becomes president, but PRO is still at the head of the ciudad. And this Cambiemos is a coalition, okay, of three center parties. Well, I felt I had to give that picture to you. Now, may I erase? I'm a teacher, so I need them both a lot. And fortunately, there's no more chalk around. Okay, I'll erase here. So we have as a president people who 15 years ago were not politicians, and they are learning how to be politicians. Okay, that was something different. Okay. Both here and in Argentina and in many, many other places, there are three powers in government. Executive, legislative, and judiciary. Long words of the problem of stress syllable to me. So, and you will see later too. So, at the national level, national government, three powers as elsewhere. At the provincial level, same thing. At the city level, with that reform to the Constitution in 1994, there was a twist to things in the city. We get executive, legislative, judiciary, and comunas. Okay? And this is where I am working. Are you smiling? Have you heard about the comunas?
I haven't.
Ah, okay. Good, so I can say anything. Well, you had some. This is a curiosity. What you got? You can look at it now. This is a switch from one topic to another, and we vote. How do you vote here? Do you get into, how do you vote?
Depends on the state.
Okay, but do you go to a special place?
Mm-hmm.
What kind of place?
They're called the polls.
Sorry?
They're called the polls, and it can be in a church basement or a high school gymnasium.
And it's a room with a machine.
Yes.
Well, we did that for the city last year. But that's not the usual thing. The usual thing is to have things like that. There are for 4 different parties. You know, at this election, you have how many? How many parts do your? We get things like this for each party. How many do you get? 4 or 5? Well, on the left, because this is important when we get to. Do you have? Oh. On the left, you know, nobody has kept the boletas, which we call. No one had a copy of these. These are for national elections. On the left, you get for president and vice president. Next,
I think you want the other one. You want the little one.
okay, the Cambiemos list is the least dark, so it's the easiest to read. President and vice president. Next is something very odd. There is a Mercosur alliance of countries of South America, and it will start functioning sometime in the future, but at this point we elected representatives to the Mercosur, and they're somewhere in the air doing the same thing they were doing before. Then in the middle, there is a, well, and some of them in the middle, there is a candidate for the province, for governor in the province. Okay, and the others may be national senators, national representatives. Some boletas didn't have all candidates for all the people, for all the posts, all the that were being elected. Now, yes? Oh, I make questions. Now, this is very awkward, because if you want, people usually look at the list on the left. They say, oh, Margaret, and then they fold it, put it in an envelope, and rarely know who the others are. Well, that was one point I wanted to make. In the city, we voted with using a machine, so I couldn't get paper things. But I'll show you later how things happen. 90 Constitution, reform to the Constitution 1994 determines that the city of Buenos Aires will have the 3 powers plus the comunas. This is where I am working. The city was divided into, we are short of photocopies, I didn't expect
You can share.
so many of you to be here. Can you pass? There are not so many, but there will be a slide with the same thing. Now, the city was divided into 15 smaller portions, and it was expected that each should have the same number of, the same population, around 250,000 people. So the shapes and sizes are very irregular. The Constitution was reformed 1994. The first Jefe de la Ciudad, elected by the people, took office 1996. But it took it very long to the Jefe de la Ciudad and to the people in the ciudad to accept the existence of the comunas. Because the role of the comunas was to check on the others. And we will see. So it was only in 2011 during the second PRO rule that the comunas started working. We have been working for 5 years now, and it's very slow work. We'll see there, and we'll see why the people of the Ciudad de Buenos Aires do very little to help the comunas work, because they don't know that the comunas exist. For the first election here, the idea was in the city to vote for president, for Jefe de la Ciudad, and legislature one day with one boleta, and for the comunas a different day. It was a new thing. It deserved of course, it's not a nice thing to go again to the voting place, but it was a new thing. It deserved attention, but it didn't get it. So the equivalent to those things you have there hand. This is for president. I don't have for Jefe de la Ciudad. I don't know if they ever printed them. Jefe, vicejefe. Legislature. There is only one house, legislature, not Senate and representatives, legislature. And then the third part of the boleta was this. This is the only one I could get. Of course, you see there are pictures of the top person in each list. This was somebody who was at the top of the list for this party, for the city, for the comuna, for the Junta Comunal. The comuna has two parts. One which is elected, and it's a body, they get a salary, and the other which is voluntary, which is the neighbors, which are the ones who do a lot of work, because they are in, well, a lot of work. For the past elections, 2015, 2000, do you say 2015? Ah, okay, I was expecting to hear somebody say, start with a two-digit split, but, well, for the, okay, so here there are two other portions. Jefe de la Ciudad, Legislature, and Junta Comunal. If this list had got a lot of votes, this man, Gomez, would have become the Jefe de la Junta. Because he was if this list got the highest number of votes, the highest number, not only a lot, this man, Gomez, would have become the Jefe de la Junta. But of course, there were two other portions. And which portion did people look at? Jefe de la Ciudad, the one to the left. And because they knew these people in the campaign, they were the ones who were at the top, most, they appeared the most and concentrated the most attention. In the legislature, maybe they knew one or two people, but these, who knew about this? I had a friend in my comuna who for this period had worked a lot and was top in one list. So we vote on Sundays. Friday and Saturday, I kept calling my friends in the comuna and asking them, who are you going to vote for comuna, for the junta? No idea what the junta was. So they made it easy to me, because I said, okay, when you go, press on the, he's a man with a long, great beard. And said, press el barbudo. For the third part, el barbudo. And he is very, very active. And so for the next election, we vote in schools, primary, secondary schools, universities, and we vote the hard way. Outside the classrooms, they put tables. And we call them actually mesas. And so you take your ID, you go to, he's a president of the mesa, presidente de mesa. I show him my ID, and there are representatives of other parties, if they manage to get a representative for each mesa, no? So I give him my ID, they all check that I'm on the list, that my ID is valid, that is the most recent one, and they give me an envelope. I go into a classroom whose rooms have been covered. It's called the cuarto oscuro. I go into and I see on the tables things like these. For the city elections, they had only 3 parts. Okay? So I go and I can fold the lista and put it in the envelope without making any changes, or I can cut parts and change them for the parts, equivalent parts of other parties. If I include only 2 parts, it's fine. The problem is if I include 4. Bueno, okay. Now let's go to the PowerPoint now. So you understand everything you read, right? Okay. This is where I work at the Comuna. We meet once a week from 6:30 to 8:30 in the Comuna. Each Comuna has a very big building where a lot of things happen. The people go, they get married there, you get your taxes, if there's a problem with your taxes, or you want a birth or death certificate, that's where you go. Ground floor. Other floors, there are other things. And we meet at one of them. In one of the slides, there is half of the slide is the meeting in one of our meetings. And I'm Comuna 13. Shows there. Okay. Fine. Shall I read in English? No? So, Reforma Constitucional 1994, voto para elegir jefe de gobierno y vicejefe 1996. La Constitución de la ciudad creó las comunas. Las primeras juntas comunales This is a junta comunal. Se votaron en julio 2011 y en diciembre de 2011 at the 3 different levels, officers take off, candidates take office, elected candidates take office in December 10. So, December 2011, we started working at the Comuna. But it's not here, but the people who were aware that nobody liked the idea of comunas, were used to getting together and working as if they had been created. So there was something called precomunas. People were afraid that they might finally put them aside and forget. We always insist that to the representative democracy, we are interested in adding hay tiempo. Participatory No, I'm looking at you because of the accent. Participatory, okay. I don't know, it's too long a word. democracy, because any neighbor is allowed to. Didn't they say that we had a little more time? And I'm not thinking of going beyond one, but okay. So, las comunas son gobiernos locales elegidos por los vecinos de cada comuna, con jurisdicción en un barrio. In the maps, sorry. I'll go back to the other slide. If you see, these lines divide the neighborhoods. This is small because there's more densely populated. It's more densely populated. My comuna is 5th, 13. And we are having Rio de la Plata, probably somewhere about here. This is a less important water course, Riachuelo. Our comuna is having a lot of trouble because the land that belongs to the comuna is very muy valiosa. Valuable, yes, but valuable because
Financially.
yes. 2 or 3 decades ago, the national government sold to private people some land along the river to promote sports activities, blah, blah, blah. And now this has become the area where the square meter of buildings is the most expensive. Bueno, so, con jurisdicción en un barrio o en un conjunto de barrios. Son unidades políticas y administrativas con un territorio propio, no, una población, un presupuesto. Each comuna should have its own budget. And that's a key factor, problem with the central city government. They want to send money for repairing sidewalks or cutting down trees or doing things, but they don't want to assign a budget to a comuna for the comuna to manage. Okay. So, here's the map. ¿Cómo se gobiernan las comunas? Well, la Junta Comunal, 7 miembros electos, el Consejo Consultivo Comunal, vecinos. El gobierno de las comunas es ejercido por un órgano colegiado, la Junta, integrado por 7 miembros. Third paragraph. La presidencia de la Junta Comunal es ejercida por el primer miembro de la lista más votada. And of course, people vote for Macri, they vote for legislators and Junta Macri, pro. Out of 7 people, this year, 3 are not pro. Which is quite a problem, because when they have to vote, it's 4-3. Okay, this is where I am. El Consejo Consultivo Comunal es el organismo de participación popular. Any neighbor that shows that has that lives in the comuna, or that works, or that has a business in the comuna, any individual neighbor or organization. You can see, that's us. Can you see? These people are sitting in front. Maybe one is coordinating, the other is taking down the names of people who want to speak, the other is writing actas. Anita?
Minutes?
Actas.
Minutes.
No, minutes. That's what we argue. Okay, there are people who want minutas, which is just, it was voted that the ta-ta-ta-ta-ta-ta, and everybody agreed, stop. And the next topic, and then there are the people who want to have details. And minutas can take half a page, and what we call actas, 3 pages. But we have learned to do things. We don't vote. The coordinator says, well, does everybody agree to this? And 2 or 3 say, no. Okay, why not? What's your point of view? Okay, maybe there will never be an agreement. So in the actas or minutas, we write, it was approved, with so-and-so disagreeing. And anyway, if we voted, it would have, but voting divides people, and we don't want to get there. Okay, okay, its functions are to asesorar, advise. Encauzar demandas, this is when neighbors have a demand, a request. They may go to the ground floor and in a desk present a demand, or they may come to us, and we see we are divided into three. Urban affairs, social affairs, and institutional affairs. And all problems will fit into one of them. So we listen to neighbors' demands and try to help. And we write notes, official notes, to the junta, which is the more powerful part. And this is the peor parte. Definir prioridades presupuestarias. Presupuesto, budget. ¿No? Money is a very delicate thing everywhere. But y de obras públicas, what public works should be a priority. And controlar la gestión comunal, that is, check on the ones who have been elected and who are being paid. That's an important part of our work. Oh, that's all. And we really enjoy doing that. But the most, I was telling you, I think, Melissa, that, for example, there was they were building an apartment. There was an apartment building being built. Well, I can't avoid repeating verb or noun, which, according to the zone, could only have 12 floors. And they were getting to the 12, and it was advertised they would build 25. So every 2 weeks on Sunday, we went to the plaza in front of the building, and with the help of the priest from a church who told the people that we were there, the people crossed the street. Are you following me? They crossed the street, and there we were with a very big banner saying Comuna 13, junto, and those who disagreed to having a higher building signed, talked to us, and one day at 6 p.m., which is a terrible time to do that, we walked, blocking the streets, we walked around the manzana.
The block,
Square.
Sorry?
The square.
around the block.
Around the block, the four blocks of a block, we walked, and I arrived late. I was at the back of the group. I said, okay, Anna, either you get run over by somebody or this is a success. And we appear in newspapers when we do that. Okay, I was not rebellious as a teenager. So, no, this about the comunas, what I showed here explains the importance and explains how this is una piedra en el zapato of everybody else, no? Because, and the Junta Comunal, we are trying to, okay, even the ones who are members of the ruling party, PRO, we are trying to, they're nice people. Sometimes they're afraid of going against the opinion of the one on top. Okay. No, I was telling Melissa yesterday, do you have any idea about the present government of Argentina? Well, as I said a little before, it's they don't have any old-time corruption, or maybe they get into some now, but they are people who would be making lots of money in their own businesses or jobs. And anyway, they are getting salaries which are not such a big thing, and being molested by people who don't like what they do. And still, they go ahead and do it, and they are professionals. I voted them in the second round, but I hope they are going to do a good work. Ok, muchas gracias. No pensé que iba a haber tanta gente. Y bueno, me interesa darles la opinión de alguien que no es profesional, que está sintiendo las cosas, y ahora leo los diarios y desde acá me preocupo de que los gremialistas que antes al gobierno corrupto anterior no le hacían nada porque el gobierno les sacaba subsidios, ¿me entiende? Pero a este gobierno que los está atendiendo, que los recibe en la casa de gobierno, que los escucha, que todo esto, les hacen paros, les hace un desastre. Están abusando, están abusando. Bueno, muchas gracias. Gracias, gracias.